I had a protein overload not too long ago, and I've been just really delving into learning all about this and getting my hair back in balance. The first thing when you start the curly girl method or just really wanting to get your hair more healthy, what you're going to want to do is start with a clarifying wash. As we all know, a lot of the products that are out there have petroleum, silicone, paraben, all these drying alcohols, and we need to get that stripped off our hair. Okay, get our hair back to its normal, natural state. And then we can move on from there. So you can use something like a dish soap or like a Johnson shampoo. A simple, inexpensive shampoo. You might already have one at your house, but double check the ingredients. Just sulfate, no silicone or anything like that. All right, and after you've done that, you're going to do 2 tests to help analyze your hair. The first test is called the cup test. So you got your clean hair, you take a couple strands and you put it down inside of a cup of water. And you're going to watch and see if it stays around the top. Give it a little press down in to make sure it gets down under the water surface. And watch it for a few minutes and see if it starts to sink to the middle or to the bottom of the cup. If it's at the top of the cup after a few minutes, that means you have low porosity. If it's in the middle, that means you have medium porosity or average. And if it's at the bottom, it means you have high porosity. And what this test is showing you is that if that hair has sunk all the way to the bottom, it's because your hair is very porous and it has allowed a lot of moisture to just suck right up inside your hair, making it heavy, and it sinks down into the bottom of the cup, etc. So that test will help you. But in order to get a really good idea of your porosity, what you're also going to want to do is feel for the texture of your hair. Slide your fingers upward on a hair strand. Does it feel smooth or rough? Smooth is more likely low porosity and rough is high porosity. And then the other test you can do to help you determine your porosity is to just take a spray bottle, spray it on your hair, and see, does that water that you just sprayed on there soak right in, or does it just drip right off your hair? And of course, if it drips right off, you have low porosity, and the hair isn't able to really absorb the water as quickly. So if it soaks right in, it's high porosity. So that's how you determine your porosity. Write it down somewhere, don't forget it, and then we'll use that later to help us determine what kind of products you need. So the second test is to take your strand of hair that's clean. Make sure you're not pulling it out of your head. Make sure it's a loose shed hair. And you're going to hold it between 2 fingers. Make sure it's still wet, okay? You're going to hold it between 2 fingers like this. See if you can pull it and get it to stretch, kind of like a rubber band. If it slides between your fingers, it's okay to wrap it around your fingers a little bit. So basically, you're going to go ahead and give it a little tug, not too much, and then release and see what happens. Does it immediately break? Does it stretch a little and then break? Does it stretch a little and then spring back into its normal curl pattern? Or does it stretch a whole bunch and then just stayed stretched out? And the last option is if it stretches really far and then it shrinks back but not into its original curl pattern and it gets all frazzled. And that's the one where we know that it's time to put protein in your hair. Your hair needs protein. But if it just snaps right away, that means you have too much protein. Anywhere in between there, I can help you to know what your hair needs. So I'll talk to you about that more later on. And if you ever private message me personally, I'll be able to help you with your own personal situation. So now that we've done those 2 tests, we can move on and say, okay, what does our hair need? Well, I personally have low porosity hair that is protein sensitive